Hi, welcome to CISSP Nights YouTube channel. Please subscribe our channel for daily questions and answers. Let's start. Which of the following functions can you use a hash to perform? A. Authenticating a session, encrypting a private key, verifying the integrity of a file, or creating a public key. So verifying the integrity of a file. Let's see the answer. Yes. So the choices for the hash can be used to verify the integrity of a file. A hashing algorithm is used to create a fixed length value called a hash. Okay. So hash is not used to create a public key or to encrypt a private key. The combination of public-private key pair is used in asymmetric cryptography. Okay, the two keys are mathematically related. So public key can be used to encrypt a message, and it can be decrypted only with the private key. So hash is not used to authenticate a session. Only a session key is a symmetric key created during the authentication process between a server and a client. The session keys are used to encrypt communication between the server and the client after authentication has been completed. Let's move to the next question. Which of the following logs are most likely to contain information about visited websites? Is it proxy logs? We have to read the question twice. Which of the following logs are most likely to contain information about visited websites? Is it proxy logs, system logs, security logs, or firewall logs? So as we all know, visited websites, we will select option A. Let's see the answer. Yes, proxy logs are most likely to contain information about the visited websites. Firewall logs, however, they contain information. They track the source and destination IP addresses and the ports of the network traffic which comes in the system. Security logs can monitor if any user has modified or deleted a file or a folder. Same system logs monitor the computer system events, such as if any computer stopped or started, okay, or any services also stopped or started. So for visited websites, we will select proxy logs. Let's move next. Okay, you want to implement a IT disaster recovery solution for your company, and the solution should be as cost efficient as possible. So here we have to focus on the cost efficiency. The maximum tolerable downtime for most of your company systems is 2 to 3 days. Any longer than that will not be good for the company continued operations. Okay, so which of the following DR solution we will implement? Is it a hot site? Is it a redundant site, warm site, or cold site? Okay, so here we will see how much is our MTD, which is 2 to 3 days. So we'll select option C, the warm site. Let's see the answer. Yes. We should implement a warm site because it contains equipment and data circuits but no data. Therefore, a warm site can be brought online usually within 1 to 3 days. It's less expensive than a hot site but more expensive than a cold site. Hot site would, however, cost more than a warm site. They are fully configured alternate locations from which a company can conduct businesses with the least amount of disruption. However, redundant site would be most expensive because it's like a operational duplicate of the production site. If the production site fails, the redundant site can immediately take over, come online, and provide seamless services to the end users. Okay, so data is replicated to the redundant site on a real-time basis, so this site is always ready to assume primary operations with no loss of data. So when choosing a DR solution, we should always perform a cost-benefit analysis, and it should take into account the cost of the DR solution and the loss which a company can endure if a disaster occurs. So by analyzing all these factors, the downtime, the MTD, we have to select the cost appropriate DR solution. So we should know the differences between all these four options. So it's for 2 to 3 days, we will select the warm site. Let's move forward. The server on which your client's sensitive financial records are stored is running out of disk space. Okay, so basically, what is the best option we have here? Move the data to cloud-based solution. Cloud-based would be a good option, but however, there is very sensitive financial records. Let's see more options. Add more disk space, delete the oldest data. We cannot delete it. Decrypt. Decrypt is good for security of the data, but not to increase the space here because they are running out of disk space. So we choose option B, add more disk space. What's the answer? Yes, the best thing you can do is to add more disk space. Companies must retain all the financial records, healthcare information, and other all sensitive data for several years as is required by the state and federal laws and regulations. The cost to maintain the data can be high, but the penalties can be more higher. So if you cannot afford to purchase additional hard drives, a secure backup solution should be considered. Okay, so we cannot move the data to cloud-based solution unless we are sure that storage provider will secure, maintain, and protect our data, and he has like proper security controls in place. Even the largest cloud providers have accidentally exposed customer data by storing or transmitting it without using proper encryption methods. So any data breaches are ultimately the responsibility of the data owner. So the service provider won't be the ultimate responsible for the data breach. It would be data owner. So we should not delete the oldest data unless we are sure the data will no longer required or needed. Decrypting consumes less space. You should not decrypt the data. Okay, encryption should be considered for any stored data. In addition, preventing sensitive client information is legally required in many laws. So, however, we will use more disk space. Let's move forward. Which of the following statements is not correct regarding encryption? Symmetric encryption is stronger per bit than asymmetric encryption. Okay, except for one-time pads, all encryption methods are breakable. Is not correct. Okay, longer keys always provide stronger encryption, or some encryption methods cannot be exported to other countries. Okay, so we will go for option C, because longer keys doesn't mean they will provide stronger encryption as well. Yes, so some encryption methods are better or more efficient than others. For example, symmetric encryption is stronger per bit. AES uses up to 256-bit key, provides us the same level of encryption as an asymmetric encryption method, which uses a 15,360-bit key, 15360-bit key. So it doesn't mean that longer keys always provide stronger encryption. Okay, let's move to next question. Which of the following is the best example of secondary storage? Secondary storage means data is stored for a longer period of time. Is it A, recordable compact disk, level 1 cache which is used by CPU, virtual memory which is used by mostly applications, or RAM stick? Secondary storage, when we talk about, we will select option A. Let's see the answer. Yes, CDR is the best example of secondary storage. It is non-volatile memory used for the long-term storage of data. However, primary storage is memory which stores information required by the CPU L1 cache is not secondary storage. Cache memory is the fastest type of computer memory because it's the memory which is closest and most frequently used by CPU. Okay, RAM stick is also not secondary storage. It is volatile, which means information stored in RAM is lost when system power is lost. Same, virtual memory is also not a secondary storage. It maps hardware memory addresses to applications. This is a very important statement here. That's why virtual memory enables multitasking by sharing libraries between the applications, and it enables more than one application to access the same information from the same memory address instead of requiring each application to load its own copy of the library into memory. So virtual memory also allows swapping and paging on a system. So best example of secondary storage, recordable compact disk. Okay, let's see the next. Which of the following best described groupings of subjects and objects which have the same security requirements? Is it security domains, layering, abstraction, ring model? Okay, we'll choose security domain because they have the same security requirement. See the answer? Yes, security domains are used when they have same security requirements. Yeah, ring model is a method of hardware layering. We use the system calls to communicate with the CPU. We have like 4 sort of rings: kernel, OS components, device drivers, and users. Same, it's not abstraction or even layering. Okay, only the security domains can describe all those subjects and objects which have same security requirement. Let's see the next question. Which of the following biometric access controls is the most likely to reveal private health information about a user? Is it fingerprint analysis? No. Is it a dynamic signature analysis? No. Vascular pattern scan? No. A retinal scan? Option D. Yes, it can be retinal scan. Let's see the answer. Yes, retinal scan is most likely to reveal private health information about a user. These scanners compare the blood vessels in the back of the eye to a database which stores known retinal scans. Okay, so we'll choose retinal scan, and it is the one which is not that much used, I guess. Let's move forward. Which of the following best describe the purpose of SNMP? Simple Network Management Protocol. As we all know, SNMP are used mostly to manage the network devices. Transfer files, no, we have FTP, TFTP, SMTP, or to create VPNs. So we'll choose option A to manage the network devices. Yes, SNMP is used to manage network devices. It can be used to remotely monitor and configure. We have SNMP1, SNMP2, which uses community strings. We have also SNMP3, which uses encryption as well to provide CIA. SMTP used to send emails. POP3 and IMAP4 are used to receive emails. To create VPN, we have a protocol which is encrypts the data on virtual networks, which is IPsec. Okay, and usually used to connect to different locations which are separated by public network or internet. So for the file transfer, we use SFTP, TFTP, and FTP. Okay. Which of the following the security role which is most likely responsible for implementing data protection tasks? Okay, yes, data custodian, data owner, user, security professional. We'll choose data custodian because he is responsible for implementing data protection tasks. But for overall management, the decision maker is data owner. Okay. The custodian is a security role most likely responsible for implementing data protection tasks. Okay, it implements data protection as defined by the policies, procedures, and requirements of the management. He can also perform backups, monitor data integrity, and manage storage. There are 5 steps in data classification process which we should remember. Identifying the owners, like who is the owner of the database or the data. Define data of interest. What are the stakeholders? Use metadata to focus and accelerate. Report and remediate. Rescan the data. Okay, so data owners are responsible for defining access to data, and the types of protections should be assigned to the data. So if we have to first identify the owner of the data, and then data custodian is responsible for implementing all those tasks. Okay, let's move forward. Your company's logging server has used all its available storage space. No new logs can be written to the logging server. You want to enable rollover logging so that old logs are removed from the server and storage space is always available. Train another user how to monitor, won't help. Review the oldest log entries for signs of suspicious activity. Transfer the oldest log entries to a permanent storage medium. Okay, and delete the oldest log entries. So we want to enable the rollover logging so that old logs are removed from the server. So ideally you should not delete, we should transfer to a permanent storage medium. Let's see the answer. Yes. Of the choices provided, you should transfer the oldest logs to a permanent storage medium before we enable the rollover logging, which means also called circular logging, which overwrites all old log files with the new logs. So the main purpose is it is a good policy for protecting storage resources and logging server. So older logs should be archived to another permanent storage before they are deleted from the logging server. Okay, the main purpose is the old data should be saved, and also new logs should continue to be written on the server. Let's see the last one. Which of the following terms best describe the N1s? Is it a one-way function, hash, random number, or encrypted variable? So let's select the random number. Yeah, N1C is best described as a random number. It stands for number used once. Okay, it's not a hash. It's not considered a one-way function. It's always not an encrypted variable. Okay, which is the following methods of data mining: securing the data, copying large volumes of data from a live database to a backup database, collecting large volumes of data, searching large volumes of data for patterns. So let's see the answer. Yes, data mining is the process of searching large volumes of data for the patterns. Marketing companies, credit card companies, and other collector information use data mining techniques in order to draw conclusions about consumer behavior. So we should know the difference between data mining, data warehousing, which is a process of collecting large volumes of data on high performance storage. First data should be warehoused, then data mining should happen. Then also database shadowing is the process of copying large volume of data from a live database to a backup database. Okay, so database mining is not securing data in a database by using views. Database view contains the results of a specific database query. Okay, so data mining is the process of searching basically large volumes of data for the patterns. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.